Well, as I always say, Mondays are usually the most boring day starting the week. However, as always, I intend to keep your Mondays fun and exciting. For this particular episode, we're going to be doing, of course, an entire episode of a 3 night show that took place recently earlier this month by German promotion wXw. So, if you guys are unaware of this promotion, this is a German promotion that's been around for who knows how long, but they always have some good talent. Many talent who's been there before, such as, of course, Gunther, Ludwig Kaiser, and many others you may have seen. However, this particular promotion has this tournament every year called the 16 Carat Gold, where they held a 3 day show, of course, featuring talent from anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter where it's, if it's here in the States, is it Mexico, Japan, the UK, or Europe, doesn't matter. So we see some of the best talent in the world participate. But the real question many of you may ask, who's walking out as this year's winner? Well, that's a very good question. So we'll be seeing that soon enough. And of course, as always, we will cap up our episode with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are thrown out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome, everybody, to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, all pleasantries have been said. I believe it's time to get this show on the road. Now, if you guys have never seen or heard of this promotion based out of Germany, the Westside Xtreme Wrestling, or wXw, well, this is your first time hearing it. If you guys already heard of this promotion, well, you're in luck. You are on the pro wrestling bus with me. So, let's get started, of course, with night one of the annual tournament of 16 Carat Gold by wXw. wXw 16 Carat Gold. Now, this was night one of the event. This happened on March 7th, in case anybody asked. Now, throughout the entirety of the night, it's all about first round matches. So, yes, there was a dark match, but it was not broadcast for some odd reason. But let's get started from A to Z on this one. Our first match, we have a guy named Ahura taking on Michael Oku. So yeah, I don't know who this guy Ahura is, but he seems like he's a very popular wrestler based out of Germany. And of course, people seem to love him. I mean, I'm more familiarized with Michael Oku, just to be fair for everybody. But this guy Uhura, he seems very interesting because I figured that okay, if people are liking this guy, then he's something. But the match was pretty good. But the one thing that really caught me is the way well, he finished the match by applying his finisher. I wasn't too sure because majority of the time of the that I've been hearing the commentators, they were speaking in Germany, and of course, for many of you would say, we probably would say, well, I don't know what the hell they're saying in Germany, but they were calling his move Salamander. Kind of weird, but that's how he finished off Michael Oku, so he advanced further. Our next match, we have Bobby Guns versus Anita Vaughn. I have heard of I have seen Anita Vaughn. I did a recent review of the with wXw when it had an all-female show, and she was involved in it. But however, Bobby Guns walked away with the win when he applied the driver, so she advanced further. Now, our next match, we have Axel Tescher. Some of you may remember him from, of course, part of NXT as Alexander Wolf, part of the Imperium. He faces against someone from Japan. Originally, it was supposed to be Dragon Kid, but due to the fact that Dragon Kid was out, that he was replaced with Masaaki Mochizuki. So I'm sure many of you probably would say Mochizuki would win if you're fans of the Japanese wrestling scene. But however, Axel, he is one of the most popular and well recognized wrestlers in Germany, in this promotion. And he was able to pick up the win when he applied a suplex, and just like that, he advanced further. Next match, we have Adam Priest. Some of you may have seen him before in other promotions here in the States. He faces off against Lawrence Roman. Now, Lawrence Roman, he reminds me a bit of like the kind of we've seen with Gunther and the rest of Imperium. So he had like that type of vibe, in case anybody asks. But he picked up the win by applying, of course, a very familiarized move that we've seen countless times, the pile driver. So he moves up. Our next match, we have, of course, Kara Nor. You may have seen him before. He's like this guy, like a swan type person. He faces off against Masha Slamovich. Yes, our current TNA Knockouts World Champion. So, yes, she participating. But it was a pretty good match. I'm not going to lie to all of you. I was enjoying it. Now, I probably would have assumed that Kara Nor was going to win this one. But, however, Masha was the one that turned it around when she applied a small package pile driver. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Next up, we have Joseph Finich Jr. taking on, all the way from Mexico, Psycho Clown. And he, of course, Psycho Clown seems like the fan favorite here because people love him. Because if people know who he is, then they're in for a treat. Because Psycho Clown, he is very energetic. He's very, what he does to get the people to get him behind him. And he was able to pick up the win when he applied the frog splash. 1, 2, 3, it was over. Next up, we have one called Manders. Yes, the same one called Manders. You've seen him in GCW, taking on, all the way from Japan, Daisuke Sekimoto. This was one of those hoss fight type matches you probably would enjoy. I mean, it's going to take his strength versus strength to take one person out. And I think that was one of the key things that I enjoy about this match. But unfortunately, it was Manders who walked out as the winner when he applied, of course, the lariat. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Our main event, the last of the first round matches, we have Leon Slater facing off, all the way coming from France, Anglin Blanc. Yep, Anglin Blanc is involved in this match. There's going to be a lot of high flying parts of this particular match, as always. I mean, yes, you probably would have seen it, but this match was absolutely amazing. But it was Leon Slater who walked away with the win when he applied the Swanton 450, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. So, basically, for this, we have Uhura, Bobby Guns, Axel Tescher, Lawrence Roman, Masha Slamovich, Psycho Clown, One Call Manders, and Leon Slater all involved in the quarterfinals. So that will be night 2 of the event. Now, there are some matches, part of the non-tournament matches, and I believe we do have 2 title matches in night 2. Yes, we do. So let's get started with night 2 on this particular day. night 2 of WXW's 16 Carat Gold. Now, we do have 8 wrestlers that were able to pick up their first round matches and ended up being in the quarterfinals. Now, I want to point out there are some names that were not mentioned on night 1, but they will be part of this in night 2. As I mentioned, we do have 2 title matches involved. So, but also those who participated in night 1 also participate on this particular day as well. So let's get started. Our first match is a non-tournament match. We have a guy named Elijah Bloom taking on Kara Noor. Now, I don't know who this guy is, Elijah Bloom, but Kara Noor is someone I have seen many times in various promotions, like anywhere in the States, the UK, not too long ago in Japan. But yes, I wasn't too sure how this was gonna go out, but however, because I've seen Kara Noor, you probably would think he will pick up the win. No, it was Elijah Blum when he applied like a somewhat of a underhook twisted suplex. I don't know what to call it, but that's what it looked like to me from watching it. So he picked up a good win just by that. So I don't know who this guy Elijah Blum is. Blum, I think he's a very interesting wrestler to look at. Now, our next 2 matches are the quarterfinals of the 16 Carat Gold tournament. First one, we have Lawrence Roman versus Axel Tesher. I have to say this was a pretty good match because they have like that. Like I said, Tesher is a former member of Imperium, which was Gunther's group, and of course Roman acts like he's part of that. He has like the same kind of build up as those guys. But it was a pretty good match. I'm not gonna lie. But however, as always, you have to take it back old school. Roman applied a pile driver, and just like that, he proceeds into the semifinals. Now, our next match involving the 16 Carat Gold, we have, of course, Bobby Guns taking on Masha Slamovich. Now, of course, Bobby Guns is a tough SOB. So is Masha Slamovich. You know Masha Slamovich. She can take a hit. She can go further and further in her career, how she would go. But in the end, it was Masha who walked away with the win when she applied a small package pile driver. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, our next match, we have a 6-man tag team match. This is a non-tournament match. We have Hector Invictus, Thomas Shire. I did mention him before in a upcoming events, and Nick Scheimer or Shayer. I don't know how to pronounce it right. They take on Aglen Blanc, Michael Oku, and Daisuke Sekimoto. I think this match was pretty good. I mean, I am familiarized with team number 2 with Angle, Oku, and Sekimoto. I have to say it was a pretty good match, not to mention some great high flying with Oku and Blanc, and of course the power strength of Sekimoto as always. But it was Sekimoto who picked up the win when he applied a torture rack onto Shire, and just like that, Shire had no choice but to tap, and just like that, it was over. Now, our next 2 matches continue more with the quarterfinals of the 16 Carat Gold tournament. First, we have Oura taking on Psycho Clown. Now, this match was divided in half. I mean, you have half of Psycho Clown fans and half of Oura. I have to say, it was a pretty good match. And not to mention, the one thing that was interesting, we had a bunch of kids dressed up as Psycho Clown. So let's call them mini psychos, just to get you guys going. They even try to help. They're like, you would think Oro was going to harm them. No, he's like, nope, I'm not playing that game. I'm not going to harm you. He's like, just get lost. Just like that. But of course, Psycho Clown, being tough as he is, he can proceed over. But however, once again, Uhura applied a salamander again onto him, and just like that, it was over. And of course, during the post-match, Psycho Clown gave his thoughts about being there, and he was very helpful that, of course, he enjoys Germany, enjoys the promotion, the energy of the fans. And of course, fans were saying, please come back. I'm sure he will love nothing more to come back to wXw. I'm sure they will love to have him around. So that's going to be interesting. Now, our next match, which is our last part of the tournament of the quarterfinals. So we have one called Manders taking on the young sensation Leon Slater. I have to say this is more of the combination of of strength versus speed. Now, Leon Slater, we know how fast he can get. He can rely on speed as possible, but he has to be more careful when it comes to a one call Manders, knowing he's a tough SOB. But however, you would think that speed would not be enough. It would definitely be enough. It would not be enough because Manders walked away with the win with the lariat, and just like that, it was over. Now here are the ones who will be part of the semifinals on night 3. We have Lawrence Roman, Masha Slamovich, Ahura, and of course one called Manders. So they will be part of the semifinals. Now whoever walks out in the semifinals will jump into the finals in night 3. So we'll get to that at some point. But right now, let's finish off night 2 because we have 2 important title matches. The first one is for the wXw European Championship. Levain, who has lost his belt against Michael D. Vichito, he's determined to win it back. But however, Mike is really tough as well. But he was able to take this guy out by applying a lariat, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, he retained the belts. Now our main event, this is for the wXw World Tag Team Belt in a tables, ladders, and chairs, or TLC, 4-way match. We have, of course, here's the challengers. Team number 1, we have High Performer, Anil Marik, and Icarus versus Big Guns, Alex Duke, Norman Harris versus Planet Gojira, Mark Empire, and Robert Dreisker. Hopefully I pronounced it right. I don't know how to say it right in Germany. I mean, I'm getting good at pronouncing it right with Japanese. And then, of course, the Young Blood, former Young Lions, Oscar Lobe, and Yuto Nakashima. So they were the champions of this particular match. So in this type of match, you all know there's going to be a lot of plunders, tables, ladders, and chairs to knock someone out. But when it comes to 4-ways, you know how this is going to go. It does not revolve in pinfalls or submission. Your primary objective is to pull down the belt. That's exactly what happened. But you probably ask yourselves, who will be pulling out? Well, it was Big Guns who were able to pull it out. It was Axel Duke who was able to pick up the win by pulling the belts, becoming our brand new wXw World Tag Team Champions. So it was a pretty good ending. So I think we're done with night 2. So let's proceed forward with night 3. Okay, night 3, wXw 16 Carat Gold. So we have 2 semifinals and the final match. However, we do have non-tournament matches, but we do have also 1 championship match. So we'll get through all of it from A to Z. So let's begin, of course, with the semifinals of the 16 Carat Gold tournament. First match, we have Masha Slamovich taking on one called Manders. Now, I don't need to explain how this match would go because you all know Masha Slamovich. She's a tough biatch in every way possible. She does not back down. She does not give up. But she has to face a guy who's one of the toughest SOBs on the planet, one called Manders. So basically, you look at 2 of the toughest individuals facing off, but you look at the size differentials between them. I mean, yes, one called Manders is the kind of person he could deeply hurt, Masha, but Masha can take anything that throws at her. But unfortunately, she couldn't take enough until, of course, Manders applies a lariat, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, he wins. He goes up to the finals. Now, who would join him in the finals? Will it be, of course, Ahura or Lawrence Roman? I mean, Ahura actually is one of those wrestlers that people can get behind. I mean, I don't know much about this guy, just to be honest, but he seems the kind of guy that people will always back up, and that's always that guy that you don't know, but people are right behind him. And then you got Lawrence Roman, who's more of a traditionalist type, but these guys put up a hell of a show no matter what. I wasn't too sure who was going to walk out until Ahura applied a pile driver instead of the Salamander move that I saw in the first 2 nights. So he picked up the win and moved on to go in the finals against One Called Manders. Now, the finals is the main event, in case anybody asks. Now, our next match is a women's match. We have Anita Vaughn taking on the Pink Striker, Miyu Yamashita. Now, you probably can guess this is going to be a very interesting match. I mean, we all know who Miyu Yamashita is. I mean, she has a background in karate. We know she kicks really hard. I'm sure you probably expect a skull kicker into the side of the head of course, Anita. That's obvious. But she tried multiple kicks to take her down. Now, she did not apply a skull kicker. She did like a somewhat of a kick where you're like doing a jumping kick type, but it goes to the face just like that. I don't know what to call it, but just like that, it was over, and Miyu Yamashita won by pinfall. And of course, like any other match what we saw with Psycho Clown, they asked her if she did come back. Now she didn't. We don't know if she will, but I'm sure she will love to go to Germany again. Our next match is a how we call it, a lucha libre rules match. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with that, in lucha libre rules match, in a tag team match, actually, you don't need, of course, to tag your partner. You can just roll out. One person can just go in. It's very simple. Team number one, we have Zozaya, Ma- Masaaki Hochizuki, and of course, Psycho Mike. They take on, of course, Aglen Blanc, Michael Oku, and Psycho Clown. So you probably can guess there's going to be a lot of high spots in this match, no matter what, left, right, up, down, side to side, however it was going to be. But in the end, we saw multiple attacks on Zozaya. First, it was, of course, a 450 by Michael Oku, then a frog splash by Anglin Block, and then finally Psycho Clown applied a frog splash of his own, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. And of course, just like that, we did see people throwing coins to the ring, like we always see in when it comes to lucha libre style matches, and that's pretty cool. And of course, we definitely would love to see these guys more often. Now, our next match, as I mentioned, we do have a title match. The wXw European Championship is on the line. Michael D. Vecchio defends his belt against the young sensational Leon Slater. Of course, Slater is someone we definitely could get behind because we've seen how talented he is for a guy of his age. And you would think in some ways that he probably could pick up the win. Unfortunately, that was not the case until Mike applied a shooting star press, and just like that, 1, 2, 3 is over. However, in the post match, I did not know what was happening, but it appears that someone who's been well recognized, of course, in WXW made his return. His name is Medichan. I don't know much about this guy. I don't know what he's saying. I do know they do have English commentary in this promotion, but for whatever reason, I did not get the English commentary. I just got the German commentary, and I don't even understand what they're saying. But whatever it is, it seems like it's big and he's back. I don't know much about where he's been or what happened, but that's what it seems it was. Now, our next match, we have a six-man tag team match. We have Planet Gojira, Mark Empire, and Robert Dresker teaming up with Elijah Blum to take on, of course, a Japanese team, the Astronauts, Fuminori Abe and Takuya Nomura, and of course, Daisuke Suzuki. So it's kind of like, um, I wouldn't say, it seems like European versus Japanese, which is very interesting to see. I mean, you look at the Japanese; they have a strong will of a fighting spirit, which obviously you can get behind. I wasn't too sure where this was going to go, but however, it was Blum who picked up the win when he applied a Twisted Bliss onto Nomura, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, our main event, as I mentioned, is the finals of the 16 Carat Gold tournament. We have one called Manders versus Ahura. Now, Ahura, of course, as I said, he seems like he's the fan favorite to win the tournament. Nothing against people's perspective, but he seems like one of those wrestlers to me. I ought to get to know who he is much, and I did make a mental note to learn more about him. But he was very interesting. But when it comes to one called Manders, you know he's a tough SOB no matter what. But that's exactly what he was doing the entire time. As always, Manders picked up his wins, as always, with the lariats. And just like that, he is this year's 16 Karat Gold champion. So basically, I'm not sure if he will challenge for the WXW World title. That's something I'm sure he will consider, but we will see what happens. That is Mander's call. So I have to say I did enjoy. There are some other shows that they'd have throughout this time with, of course, I'll explain more. But for right now, let's move on with, of course, some news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news updates. So let's begin, as always, with upcoming events from the promotions. Baka Gaijin and Friends has announced another event taking place, Volume 21. It will take place on the 15th of April. Now, no announcements on who's participating. I know for a fact that one of those participants that won't be able to do that will be Masahiro Takanashi. As you know, recently he got injured during a DDT show when he was facing off against his good buddy Chris Brooks. So we'll see what happens until then. Now, as you know, Dragon Gate will be in Las Vegas between the 16 and in the 16th and 18th of April. They did announce that Dragon Kid is going to participate. It's been also revealed that Dragon Kid, as you all know, he suffered an injury. He is now medically cleared to compete. So, yay, he's back. So, can't wait to see him. Of course, more of the Las Vegas shows taking place on the 17th of April. March Hitchcock Memorial Super Show has announced Ninja Mac versus Mascara Dorada. Prestige Wrestling, as you know, with the Nothing to Lose event, also on the 17th of April in Las Vegas. Zaya Brookside will also participate. Of course, we have a collaboration between both Prestige Wrestling and West Coast Pro with Conquered the World, and this will take place at Portland, Oregon on May 15, 2025. Now, no announcement who will be participating from representing both Prestige and West Coast Pro, so we'll stay close to it. And finally, as you know, West Coast Pro will do a show as well on the 31st of May called When the Lights Go Down in the City. 4 names have been announced who will be participating in the show. Vinny Masario, Starboard Charlie, Brett the Threat, and Jai Jewel. So that's going to be fun to watch. Now on to some developments. Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling has announced that they filed a trademark, and the trademark is called Real Canadian Beer. Now, I'm not a beer drinker, guys. I don't know if anybody had any Canadian beer before, but if anybody knows the difference between American beer and Canadian beer, just let me know. I don't know the difference. But yes, that's the trademark. So that's they put out. Now, as you all know, WWE are doing a European tryout that will take place real soon. Names have been announced recently, but 2 more names have been announced that will be participating in a tryout. I mentioned this guy's name recently, Zozaya, so he will be also involved. Then there's a guy named Adam Maxter, don't know who he is. But another name has been mentioned, Michael Oku. Some sources have revealed that it's highly unlikely he would go to the tryout. Now, I know some people say he ought to go to. I mean, he's a very amazing wrestler. I would definitely agree with you guys on that part, but that's Michael Oku's call on what he wants to do. I mean, there are those that say that maybe AEW has an interest in him, so we'll see about that. And then finally, as you all know, many remember him, former UFC fighter and former WWE wrestler, Cain Velazquez. As you know, a couple years ago, he was involved in a shooting of some sorts involving a kid or something. Well, it's just been told that he will serve 5 years in prison. So yeah, so that's basically what happened. We'll see what happens with him. We'll stay close to this sooner. More of this information if anything has arrived. So yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. So let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. First things first, as you probably know, I did the entire episode on wXw. Now, what I was not aware of, there were other shows that also took place at the same time as the 16 Carat Gold. Now, I don't know when I will be doing it. I have to pick out a day that does not involve like with shows with NXT, the AEW, TNA, that sort of thing. The only time I would think it could eventually happen is either possibly this Friday or probably Sunday or next Monday, depending on the mood. So we'll see how that rolls up. Now, as for our next episode, it will feature NXT. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do, but as I said, NXT is the top priority on the next episode. So we'll leave things as it is for that. If anything else, I'll let you guys know. But until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang!